Hey there guys, what's up? Me here again with a brand new video tutorial for DVD Studio Pro. Now, I know that you guys didn't have any videos, or I didn't produce any videos for you guys, I suppose. These past couple weeks, I was out of town, so if you didn't see the, notice, I suppose, on my channel, I posted a video a while back. I was gone, so I apologize for no videos during that time frame. However, I am back, and also, like I said before in a little notice, I was working on a brand new project with my friend Justin Yang. He's a really amazing guitar player. We finished up the video that we were shooting, and if you want to go watch it, here is an annotation to the link to his channel. I produced the entire video, I mixed, I recorded the music. We also filmed it while he was playing it, and I think it turned out really well, so if you guys want to go check that out, hit that annotation. I'll also put it at the very end of the video. So anyways, today in this video tutorial, I suppose, we're looking at the very last episode of the DVD Studio Pro series. Here's a little project that I've just made for my friend's graduation party, which is actually today, and all it is basically a slideshow of, different things from his life, and it turned out really well. I liked it a lot. So we are now ready to put this onto a DVD and send it to the graduation party. So what do? We have our project. If we look over here, it is about maybe half of a gigabyte, so we really don't need a whole lot of space on this disk. And it is an SD project, which we set that at the very beginning when we first made this project. So there's a couple ways we can do this. Obviously you're gonna need to get some disks. Now there's two main kind of disks in this in the world, I suppose. You got your HD, which is like the Blu-ray one, and you also have your SD, which is the standard DVD. Now, in those categories, there's something called dual layering. Dual layering, basically it means you have two layers on one side of the disc. So normally a DVD has about like 4.2 gigabytes of space. However, on a dual layer disc, it goes up to about 8.4 gigabytes or something like that. I believe it's more of 8.5, but either way, that's more or less what it does. And basically, when you burn the DVD, it starts in the very center and it burns to the very outside of the DVD. Then it restarts and it has something called a breakpoint, which is where the DVD stops burning to the outside and burns to the inside. So if you ever see a little like glitch or something, have a little break, or I suppose kind of like a jump, when you're watching a DVD, that's what it is. It's a dual layer disc hitting a breakpoint. So, like I was saying before, there's a couple different ways to go about actually burning your DVD. If you just want to burn one disc and it's fairly small project like this, you don't need a dual layer disc or anything. You can just hit the burn button, put in a DVD, and it'll burn more or less straight to it if you have all the settings correctly. I suppose correctly put in. And then I recommend you definitely go and test this on a DVD player, because a lot of times it'll burn as a data disc if you have one specific setting wrong. So I recommend you definitely make sure everything is going smoothly before you actually show it to your client. Alright, so now up along here, right next to the burn button, we have the build button. Now the build button basically means you compile all this data on your disk and make it into one single folder, one single file. To show you guys what it does, I'm just going to quickly build this. So I come over here to my desktop, Nathan's graduation, that folder is right here. I want to make a new folder, and this is something you always want to do, is you always want to make a brand new folder and call it build. Hit create, hit choose, and then what this does is it builds the entire disk. So more or less from start to finish, all the menus, all the buttons, everything that the disk has to do, it just kind of compiles it into a format that DVD can read, because right now it's a DVD Studio Pro project, and you can't just put that on a disk. You need to be able to format it a proper way to make a DVD player play it. Once that is all finished, which it should just be about done, there we go. It says compiler completed successfully. Hit OK. Now over here on the format option, this is where you're actually burning the disk. And I'll show you guys a little bit more about the dual layering and the two-sided disk in a little bit. So at the very top, put a title, Nathan's graduation. Just so you guys also know, it always does all caps and it always does that little underline thing right there. That's not something I'm putting in manually, but that just kind of how all DVDs are formatted. Below that we have the source. So if we want to make sure we're choosing the right build folder, we come over here, go to desktop, Nathan's graduation, and build folder. So just hit choose. Boom, there we go. We have the proper build folder. By default, DVD Studio Pro does select the most previous folder you've built. So you don't always have to do that, but if you are a little bit OCD and want to make sure it's all 100% fine, you can always do that and manually select it. So down here, we just got some basic destination stuff. A lot of the time, DVD Studio Pro does format all this correctly. To the right of that, on the next tab, we have disk/volume. Now this is what I was talking about beforehand. Now, if you guys know why Blu-ray discs are called Blu-ray, it's because they use a blue laser to burn them. Hence the term blue laser up here. We also have a red laser, which is what basic DVDs are burned on. I'm using a red laser. And if you know a little bit about, the visual, I suppose, the visual light spectrum, there we go. Like red is like the softer, I believe it's the softer end, and blue is the, I suppose, more hardcore, more strong end of the light spectrum in terms of intensity of the lasers. So that's also, relating to science and stuff. Anyways, getting back to the actual topic on hand, here we have the layer options, a single layer or a dual layer. Dual layer, that's like I was saying before, it kind of basically has two layers on one side of the disk, and it's really useful if you have a longer project and you still want to keep the quality pretty high. Is you can use a dual layer disk. I highly recommend getting some. With a single layer, you don't really have a choice on the direction. It always just kind of goes from one side or from the inside out. But with the dual layer, I think there's some different options you can choose here. I want to say that's like oh gosh, I forgot what they stand for. But OTP is always the one that you want to go with for dual layering. Also, like I was saying before, we had the dual layer breakpoint. A lot of times, DVD Studio Pro can actually choose an automatic one, which basically means like halfway through the video, the program will just choose its own. However, if you are a very smart editor, you know that a dual layer breakpoint is going to be kind of a little jump in the video. So what you can actually do is down here in the timeline, put a chapter marker, like where a big scene ends and then an entirely different scene ends. You can put that little chapter marker right there and actually make that the breakpoint, because that'll make it a little more seamless and it'll be like, I don't know, just more smooth. So if you're a smart editor, I recommend you choose a point in your video where there isn't a whole lot going on or there's a big scene transition. Also, we have the number of sides, 2 side discs. Obviously, you have one physical side, then you have to flip the DVD over to see the other one. I don't really like those. I just think they're a little bit more complicated than they need to be. So one side, and also the size of the disc. If you guys, kind of got those old Happy Meal toys, and it's somehow sometimes they have a little disc in there. I know a long time ago I had one of those, and those were all 8cm discs, which are a lot cheaper than the 12cm discs. So if you do, have a smaller disc for, whatever, I think it's like a Game Boy or GameCube discs. Those were also 8cm, versus the normal standard 12cm that all DVDs are made on these days. And also, if you look down here at the bottom, we kind of see the maximum data size, which basically means how much this DVD can actually hold. So, I suppose it can be kind of a cool way to design your own, discs. If you're saying like blue laser, Blu-ray disc, dual layer can have 30 gigabytes, while a single layer Blu-ray disc can have 15 gigabytes. So, I think that's kind of interesting. The far right tab is all the region and copyright stuff. So, if you want to have a copyright. So let's say, you're an independent filmmaker and you don't want this film to be able to play in China. You don't have the specific copyright. You just uncheck the box and then you're more or less golden. If you want to have a copyright management, so like if you want to have like one copy of this permitted, no copying, or, if you're just making this as a project for your friends, you just, allow people to copy this. So that's more or less really all it is. And then you just hit the burn button down there in the bottom corner, and this will burn all the specific formatting that you've just built using the build format. Also on the far right over here, we have the build/format, which basically takes the building and the formatting step and pushes them into one. It's basically the same steps as you just saw here, and as I just explained to you guys. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too. If you want to see more video tutorials on a different subject, leave those ideas down below in the comment section. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. I'm making more of these. And stay tuned next week for a pretty fun announcement of something that we're going to be doing on the 4th of July, hopefully. If not, then just kind of like sometime in early/mid-July. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I shall see you around. See you next week, and peace out.